Hello everybody, welcome back to F1 Manager 24, and we start because Daniel Ricciardo's got an offer from Haas to join them next season. He was recently contacted by team at Haas and they've sent me a contract proposal and would like me to join from the beginning of next season. I've been mulling it over and to be honest with you, the offer is tempting. I've had a good time here though, so I wanted to give you the chance to review my contract before I accept their proposal. I'd be happy to stay if my contract were improved. Now, obviously, Daniel Ricciardo's done an absolutely fantastic job for us. However, I don't think I want him for another 3 seasons. If we look at his profile, he is 35 years old. He'll be 38, which, you know, there's no qualms in that. His contract at the moment does have a year left, so it's not expiring this year, it's expiring next year. So in theory, Haas have to pay us £5.5 million to actually take him off our hands, to break his contract as it stands. Now, in theory, that's probably not quite right. It's probably not close to about 4.1 million, which is half of his salary because he's got a year left on his contract. It's a little bit confusing because they're not going to be taking him right now. But yeah, we'll see. And if there's still that bug in the game where we don't get the money, the AI can just break the contract without paying the money. So we would have to use the editor to then give us that money. So we'd figure out when it all goes through how much it actually is going to cost. But I'd say probably about £4 to £5 million we would get from Haas for them to sign Daniel Ricciardo. Now, the thing is, if we don't renew Daniel Ricciardo's contract, or we give him just another year extension, we don't obviously have to match their 3 years that they've offered him, and then we can give him a choice anyway. We can go through it and see who else is obviously available. If we look at the other drivers, into scouting, into drivers. Now, we've not really scouted for a first team driver. Max Verstappen is open to negotiations with us. That's incredible. He's got 4 months left on his contract on a 5.3 million buyout fee. Okay. Obviously, Lewis Hamilton will be joining Ferrari. I think that is, yeah, contract agreed. That is built into the game. Is Carlos Sainz? See, Carlos Sainz is out of contract. We could get someone potentially like Carlos Sainz we could have a go for. Lots of people are going to be out of contract. Daniel Ricciardo, 82 rated. If we lose him, there is a few drivers out there that we could look to bring in. Yuki Tsunoda, Albon, maybe not Bottas. Piastri, I don't think he would move to us. I don't think that's very realistic. Sainz without a seat, though, could be realistic to come and join Brawn GP. I do want to go for a more experienced or a current F1 driver from the grid, and of course if Haas are taking him, then it means Hülkenberg and Magnussen may be open to a negotiation as well to come the other way. So I don't know, let me know your thoughts down below. What do we do about that? I think for now, let's chat to Daniel and say, in car 1 we will sign you again at the end of the season. We're going to lower your salary. They've offered him 7.9. I want a big breakout in there. In fact, we could probably give him a little bit of a boost, actually, and say that we'll do it for 2 more. Wow, 2 more seasons is still quite old. 1 more season? Just give him a 1-year extension. A lump sum will give him, like, I don't know, like $1 million, 900,000 maybe, and 950,000 to sign on the dotted line. That's a lot of money, isn't it? And then a race bonus if he finishes in the top. If he finishes in a podium, he can get a fair whack of money, I think. I think that's a fair thing to say. Like 150 grand? 150 grand for finishing 3rd. And then we'll say you need to make a decision in like 7 days' time. That keeps him around for 2 more seasons. I think that's a good... I mean, that is not a big multiplier, is it? 1. 1 is not... that needs to be bigger. If someone wants to buy him, again, it's Daniel Ricciardo. He's not irreplaceable. He's not irreplaceable. 8.3 million for 2 more years. I don't know if I want him for 2 more years. Part of me is now like, do we just take the money and run? He wants a 2-season contract. So that would be the remainder of this season, next season and the season after, where his current contract is the remainder of this season and next season. But obviously Haas might buy him out, which would get us like 4 million. Well, 5.5. If they take him right now, it's 5.5. So he's done so well for us. That's the problem. He's done so well. He deserves a new contract. Don't get me wrong. He deserves a new contract. But I don't know if I want to give Daniel Ricciardo another 2-year deal. I think we offer him... I'm going to offer him this. And if he says no, he says no. And then we're not going to do any more. That's what I think. But let me know your thoughts below. Obviously, he's got 7 days to decide if he wants to accept that contract. In other news, if we go to the inbox, you'll see it here. We have had Willy Vogel sign a new contract. He was being tempted by Aston Martin, but we've convinced him to stay with a brand new contract. And Hassan Matibelli as well. He was being... I think approached by Williams, and we've convinced him to stay as well. So they've both renewed their contracts. Ollie Behrman accepted his contract. He's in as well. And we have an affiliate driver in Wilhelm Brandt, 57 rated on a free, as a free agent, so to speak. And we've given him a 4-year contract on not a very big salary with a huge multiplier for his buyout. So if anyone wants him after we've improved him, then they're going to have to pay us a lot of money. He's just here as a sort of stopgap until all our other affiliates come in previously. But yes, he's not too bad. Development rate is high, and we're working him on his race strategies to get that smoothness, overtaking, defending and reactions up as well. But he's just sort of sitting there just as an affiliate. And I think we're going to try and bring in quite a lot of affiliates and use them as money makers to see if people can use their breakout clauses and stuff like that. But overall, all going well. We've developed quite a lot, or we've manufactured a lot of car parts with a chassis, underfloor and side pods still going. We've got some more designs and research for next season going as well on the chassis, rear wing and suspension. So all in all, it is looking pretty good. Now, into Zandvoort this weekend. We are going to sim Zandvoort, and then we'll be back for the Italian Grand Prix, which will be one I'm very excited for. We have strategy prep, so we're predicting the best strategy is a 2-stopper in Zandvoort, and the team hub is upgraded as well. Money-wise, it's going very well. 28 million still in the bank, which is lovely. We have 30% of our cost cap remaining, which I think is fine because we're just coming to the end of the summer break, so we've been in a good position. Daniel Ricciardo is definitely going to finish 11th or higher, and Ollie Behrman should really be finishing above 16th, so that's what we're going to go with. Right, I'll go and sim the Dutch Grand Prix. We'll be back for the Italian one. So Zandvoort is done. Ollie Behrman up 4 places to 7th, picking up 6 points, maybe showing that he's very happy with that new contract. Daniel Ricciardo down 4 places, but does pick up a point in 10th, which is lovely. So a double points finish again for us. Daniel Ricciardo stays 7th. Ollie Behrman climbs to 11th in the drivers' standings, and in the constructors we remain 4th, again extending that point, or that differential over Mercedes by 3 points up to 92 now. A long way off the top 3, but we are best of the rest, as they say. The fastest pit stop, we were nowhere near it again, even though we have had a little bit of an improvement in time, 2.52, and both drivers hit their target, 1.4 million in the bank. Lovely, lovely stuff. Now, are we going to find out about Daniel Ricciardo accepting or rejecting our contract before the next race? We'll have to see, but lots of new manufacturing's coming into the car, which is good because things need replacing. So we've installed, have we got, yeah, no, that's all right, that's been done. Underfloor, we've just done more of them. Into car 2, we've got another underfloor there as well. So that is all gravy. Just got to make sure we've always got things in stock. Isaac Hajar did well. Okay, Community and Pepe Marte. Nice. Excellent stuff. But yeah, we had a good race. We had a good race there. Only 4 days until we get to Monza. But yeah, doing pretty well, to be honest. Everything's going well. We've got a new ATR period coming soon. Daniel Ricciardo has had an offer from Williams as well. Okay. Well, we've offered you a contract, Daniel. So it's up to you. Oh, he gets a bonus if they finish 16th. So Daniel Ricciardo is a wanted man. He's a wanted man. We can open a counter offer, apparently. Does that mean he's looked at our offer? Does that mean he's looked at our offer and sort of rejected it? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. We gave him 7 days. It hasn't been 7 days. But maybe we'll have a look. Open the counter offer. Let's have a look. So, your offer seems appropriate for this candidate, is what our staff are saying. He's happy with everything apart from the breakout multiplier. 8-2, 2 seasons. I think that is what we offered him, right? Oh, maybe we get to make another offer because, like, it's 2 seasons. This is what we offered him. 2 seasons, 8.2, starting date next season, car number 1. I mean, I'm going to put, I think I did have a bit more of a breakout multiplier on this, but 1.5. 950 was right. 158. I mean, we can give you a little bit more of a bonus if you win. Ah, no, he has changed this a little bit, hasn't he? Because I put it as 3rd. I said you got to get a podium. But let's give you 200,000 to get a podium. So 2 seasons he's happy with. That's fine. That's what I'm happy with that. Let's give you 1 million for signing on then. It's still just short of what he wants. I bet if you boost that, see, extra 100 grand, he's happy. The multiplier. Okay, so if we move the multiplier up to 2, but give him 200,000 extra. Oh, if we say immediately, he's like immediately pissed off. If we give him 14 days. Do we give him 14 days to decide? No, I want an answer. 7 days. You're getting another 7 days, mate. You get another 7 days to give us an answer. So we shall see how that goes. But yeah, Daniel Ricciardo is a wanted man, and we've got 1 day until Monza. Okay, both drivers again, I'm pretty sure are going to hit their targets. Obviously, we are taking control of this session. I'll do practice. We'll be back for qualifying. Here we are then, back for qualifying. Setup's very good. 94% for Daniel Ricciardo, 95% for Ollie Bearman. Very happy with that. However, we do have a few issues. Not with Daniel Ricciardo. His components are still looking pretty good and pretty healthy, to be honest. I've got a feeling we might be able to stretch Daniel Ricciardo's all the way to the end of the season. But Ollie Bearman is definitely going to need some new bits. He has 1 engine at 90% left, which we're trying to eke out for as much as physically possible. He has 1 ERS left, which is 39%. So he is going to need a new car part. I'm wondering if we just buy it now and then make that one hit and maybe take the grid penalty. I think we do. I think we are going to have to buy that. So we're going to buy that, fit that ERS and take the penalty. And then in the gearbox, we have got this 59% one, which is still okay. Because that ERS with the 39% is going to have to be the practice one now. But everyone is set and ready to go. Let's start qualifying. Yep, Ollie Bearman is going to get a grid penalty at the end of this qualifying session. So he needs to qualify high up the order. We're going to go out early with Ollie Bearman, as I do like the way we've made the Brawn car look. I do think it looks very nice indeed. So there we go. Bearman out, Russell out, Daniel Ricciardo out. Let's see how they get on. Ollie Bearman's going to get a nice clean lap in. He might catch Pierre Gasly, but yeah, catches him at a good area. 1:19.9. Obviously a very short, fast lap here in Monza. 1:19.9. Not too much difference between the two of them. Both running exactly the same car spec here in Italy as well, so this should be a good battle. Sonoda splits them at the moment, but that is some decent racing. That is some decent racing from the chaps. I'm not too disappointed. Piastri goes 6/1000th quicker, or 6/100ths quicker, I should say. Sorry, 10/100ths, 1000s. Leclerc goes fastest, then Sainz. So it looks like Ferrari and the McLarens may have bought little upgrades. You never know. Let's send out Daniel Ricciardo in that gap, and then we'll send out Bearman there, and we'll see how we get on. I think we held up Verstappen a little bit there, which he's not going to be happy about, but it doesn't stop him setting the 4th fastest time of the session. Daniel Ricciardo, I think, has been held up. Does improve. Jumps to P4. Ollie Bearman jumps to P6. So we should be comfortably through of Q1. So at the end of Q1, 4th and 7th, not too bad. And we say goodbye to Guan Yu Zhou, Magnussen, Bottas, George Russell, weirdly, Pierre Gasly and Logan Sargent. George Russell not having a good time of it there, getting knocked out in Q1. That's not going to be very good for his potential future at Mercedes. We're going to do a first lap on those scrubbed tyres just to see if we can keep an extra set of softs behind if we need them. Now, again, Ollie Bearman needs to really get through this. He needs a top 10 spot so that when that grid penalty happens, he's not knocked too far back, as Ricciardo's going to follow Lando Norris out here as Ollie Bearman starts his quick lap, as does Daniel Ricciardo. Everybody's going to get a decent lap in here. Ollie Bearman a 1:19.9, exactly the same pretty much time as what he did in the first session of Q1. Danny Ric goes quicker, just Lando Norris goes quicker than both by 0.2. Okay, both drivers back out there on a new set of soft tyres, so this should be the fastest lap they can set. As off goes Daniel Ricciardo, he's going to get a pretty good lap in here. Ocon does get caught in the DRS area, which is fine. Ricciardo goes 4th fastest again. Will Ollie Bearman improve? No, he won't. Got held up. Ollie Bearman's at risk here because Perez, you think, is going to improve. Yeah, Bearman got held up by Ocon. He's in 9th at the moment, Ollie Bearman. As people finish, Albon jumps ahead. Bearman is 10th. Perez is going to go quicker. No, Bearman gets pushed out by Iwasa, the last driver to cross the line. So Ollie Bearman is 11th, going to be starting 16th, I think. But we say goodbye to Sergio Perez and Alex Albon in there, which is interesting. Yuki Tsunoda getting that V-carb and Iwasa getting the V-carb into the top 10. Very well done from them. Daniel Ricciardo getting 4th is very, very impressive for the Aussie driver in this Brawn. Yeah, he's having a good old time of it, Daniel Ricciardo, and it's why I wanted to give him a new contract, maybe not the contracts that Haas and Williams were offering him. So it's going to be up to him. We've made him an offer. We've upped it once already, so we'll see how he does as Alonso came out of the pits just in front of us. We catch Sainz in a good area, 1:19.4. It's a little improvement, I think, on the time that was set originally in Q2, but obviously we have got fresh softs. We're going to do a very quick turnaround here and see if we can get out for a couple of laps, to be honest. So we'll send Daniel out. There's a nice gap there as well. We'll send Daniel Ricciardo out just there, get him in, put this set of softs on again. Oh, he's going to get a lovely lap in here. It's going to be completely empty. I don't know if he is going to have enough time, so he needs to set a good lap here, and it's 4th. 0.2 off the leader. Not too bad at all. Yeah, he's not going to get time to do another lap, but very happy with Daniel Ricciardo's performance in Italy so far. We actually timed that really well to get a clear lap. So we're in. Tsunoda is in. He doesn't improve. Hamilton's up to 8th. Iwasa 7th. Verstappen doesn't improve. Daniel Ricciardo is going to be starting 4th in Italy. What a run from the Aussie there. Great stuff. So Ollie Bearman takes a 10-place grid. It's a 10-place grid penalty down to 21st. I didn't realise it was going to be that. So Ollie Bearman's going to need something pretty fantastic from this race. And it's making me think potentially to do something a little bit crazy. Maybe push some softs from the off, get on the hards early, and try and make that work. See if he can make lots of places up early on. Get on the hards, maybe a safety car allows him to get onto another set of something later on. Or do we do something outrageous with Ollie Bearman? Because he's got another set of softs there. If we went like, I know it's saying it's slower, but if you put the hards on, it does. Yeah, then it's. I'm just wondering if there's a way you can make this. Look at that. See, that is quicker. It's saying that is quicker, 2 seconds quicker. If he could just make that work, that little push, and then do we push the hard? Can we push the hards really hard at the end? No, we can't. Oh, yes, we can. Yes, we can. 6 seconds quicker. Thank you very much. A 1:12.30. So it's saying it's the same as the medium to hard strategy, but it allows him to use 2 sets of softs. Hopefully, make up places early on. We're going to try it. He's starting at the back, so he needs something special, right? And then he's going to go for the Daniel Ricciardo. We need his acceleration to be the best it possibly can off the line. So he is going to go for the complete underfueling of the car. Daniel Ricciardo, starting 4th, doesn't really need anything to be too out of the ordinary here. We could go, like, I think push the hards, not the mediums. 3 seconds was the biggest improvement we had. So I'm just going to leave that one there, but I know you don't normally. I don't normally show you my strategies, do I, when I'm doing all of this? But I thought we'd leave this one in. I'm wondering if we can do something similar-ish to what we've set up for Ollie Bearman. But obviously Daniel Ricciardo has better tyre management. So if we don't push those softs and get on them earlier, now it's still only a second, which means you can push them and then... I feel like ending on softs is a really good idea. But I know the one stop is probably the strategy to do. Or do we push 2 softs, run the mediums? No, that's slower. That is slower. So let's get into that I just feel like avoiding the hards is the right thing. 42, 43, 42, 42, 42. There isn't a time it gets down to a 41. Wow, that... Okay, now hang on. That is not quicker. It's quick. It's 4 seconds quicker to do that. It's 10 seconds quicker to push the hards. So then it's a case of, do you want to start on the mediums or start on the hards? Can we get that to 11 seconds? That's 10 seconds. Now that's saying it's 10 seconds slower. What's going on here? How can that be 10 seconds? I'm so confused about what this is trying to show me. Okay, you can't push the hards. So that is sort of the undercut. But you're really, really going on the hards. And you are giving yourself a bit of leeway with the mediums to push. But I think that's probably the safest to do. So yeah, we're going to go with that. Medium hard and then soft hard for Ollie Bearman. That is what we're going to go for. It's all been a bit long-winded to get to that point. But yeah, that's what we're going to go with. So 4th and 21st. Now, Ollie Bearman does have some places to make up to get that bonus. I completely forgot about that when I was sorting his bonuses out. But 17th, he can do that from 21st. And obviously, he's got the new ERS in the car as well. So, there is Daniel Ricciardo, 4th on the grid. Behind, or opposite Verstappen, actually. But, yeah, hoping for a good start. We've got, what, hard runners at the front with Leclerc. Ricciardo does lose out to Verstappen. Now, there could be carnage into turn 1. There could very well be carnage here into turn 1 in Monza, into the chicane. Verstappen's going to have that. Oh, a little bit of touching of the wheels. Ricciardo's forced wide. Get back on the track. He does. Doesn't let Tsunoda get past him, but has lost some time. He got forced off. Ollie Bearman has gone up to 20th, overtaking K-Mag, which is good stuff for him. And yeah, we're hoping our drivers can make a bit of an impact here. Daniel Ricciardo losing a lot of time to the cars in front because of that pushed wide by Verstappen, we'll call it. Not dirty driving, he was just pushed a little bit wide. So, yeah, the two V-carbs fighting side by side behind Daniel Ricciardo, and then a big, big gap to the cars in front because of that issue on the first corner. But Ollie Bearman has overtaken George Russell as well. So, Ollie Bearman on the charge. Valtteri Bottas in front rejoins pretty much unsafely. Valtteri Bottas up in the front of us. There is, well, that's not George Russell. Where? George Russell's right there. He's alongside us and he's just overtaken us. So that's irritating, isn't it? But Russell has an issue apparently already early on in this race. Not good for him. He's got a mechanical fault as Daniel Ricciardo trying to close the gap. Let's make sure Daniel Ricciardo is on aggressive. And we'll tell Bearman, don't worry about defending too much. We just need to make sure you get the car round as DRS is enabled. And Daniel Ricciardo does not have it, but we should make up some time here as these guys in front are all battling. Charles Leclerc keeping on to first place on hard tyres is very impressive of him there. Strategy-wise, we've got medium hards, everybody on mediums until Ollie Bearman on his softs. So most drivers going for the medium tyre, but first lap down, a little bit of an issue for George Russell. Ollie Bearman is trying to get that move done. In fact, he has literally just got past him, because there is George Russell behind him. So Ollie Bearman doing a good job, and both drivers doing reasonably well at the moment. 4th and 19th. Ollie Bearman just has to find 2 more spaces, and then I think he is in his bonus paying threshold, if I remember correctly. I think it's 11th and 17th, I think. But Daniel Ricciardo has overtaken Lando Norris. Excellent. He's up into 4th. So Ollie Bearman overtakes Valtteri Bottas very easily down the straight. Lovely stuff. Closing the gap to those drivers in front as well. Ollie Bearman's having a great time. So Daniel Bearman here. Daniel Bearman? No, Daniel Ricciardo going into turn 1 and 2 is trying to push Verstappen off where he got him last time. And this is what a battle we've got here at the beginning of this race, by the way. Daniel Ricciardo in a drag race against the Red Bull of Max Verstappen. We've got the slipstream behind Charles Leclerc, and look at us go. Look at that pace. I'll tell you what, Daniel Ricciardo's in the fight for a podium here. He is in the fight for a podium. I think if we can get past Charles Leclerc, we could potentially break away from him because of what we've our tyres compared to our mediums. So Daniel Ricciardo having a look. He's gone to the right. Can he go to the left and get the move done? I think he is. He is going to get it done. And Daniel Ricciardo leads the Italian Grand Prix. What a start to this race. Right, we actually do need to go now, don't we? We need to really try and extend that gap. So this is going to hurt your car, Daniel, but we need to get this gun. We need to try and pull away. I don't think we are. I assume Charles Leclerc is just going to get us in this next point. But for 1 point there, we were leading the Italian Grand Prix, and Daniel Ricciardo will be able to take that with him for the whole weekend, as Charles Leclerc is just going to drift past us here on his hard tyres. We're going to go slightly defensive as Ollie Bearman overtakes Logan Sargent. We're just going to make sure we get through this area with Ricciardo. It looks like we have. And Ollie Bearman further back in the field, just down the straight. Good pace from Ollie Bearman up, well, past Logan Sargent. Lovely stuff. So Daniel Ricciardo going for the lead of the race again over Charles Leclerc. These two are just sort of pulling each other along with Max Verstappen, who's definitely in this battle. He's just behind us, to be honest. And we've been running in top up to try and get some more battery in it. Ollie Bearman up to 15th and battling with Pierre Gasly in front of him. He's having a really good drive. Obviously, he's going to have an extra pit stop probably compared to everyone else. But yeah, he is doing a wonderful job of it. Ollie Bearman climbing up the rankings and doing lovely stuff. He's overtaken Hulkenberg. I mean, he's just being squeezed out now by Pierre Gasly as we go into the long right-hander. And yeah, Ollie Bearman's doing a good job. Ricciardo gets the lead of the Grand Prix again. I assume that was into turn 1. Coming down here, lovely onboard view here with Daniel Ricciardo. Oh no, it was into Parabolica, the big right-hander towards the end of the lap. So Daniel Ricciardo out in front. Max Verstappen fighting him into the chicane. Neither of these drivers are going to want to give up position, and Daniel Ricciardo does sneak through and keep first place. But you imagine here, yeah, Max Verstappen is just going to deploy that very, very quick Red Bull and pull away. Charles Leclerc half a second behind us two, but yeah, Max Verstappen has very good pace. As Oliver Bearman overtakes Gasly, it's all kicking off in Italy. So much stuff happening here. Ollie Bearman with the DRS into turn 1, around the outside, gets it done, and he is up to 13th. He's having a great race. So out in front, we do have a battle going on. Daniel Ricciardo, Leclerc, and Max Verstappen. 14 laps done, or 13 laps done. This is lap 14. And yeah, everybody's just changing positions. We've got a 5.4 second gap to 4th place Carlos Sainz, so we are in a very good position. Ollie Bearman's getting close to his first pit stop of his 2, that I should say. He's got 2 stopper. Verstappen overtakes Ricciardo, but Ricciardo is fighting back. And as you can see, we are topping up the battery as best we can as we go into. We're just going into all the chicanes too wide, and it does not work. As Max Verstappen is still holding on next to us. Daniel Ricciardo has to ease off into that right-hander, and then we're going to come up here with another right-hander. But I think if we sit behind, I mean, how's he doing on tyre wear? 64. Everyone's pretty much the same, and it looks like Leclerc's pushing those hards quite hard as well, because he's down to 67. But yeah, we're fine. Perez has got the worst tyre wear other than Bearman, but he's on the soft, so yeah, I'm very happy of how this race is going at the moment. So Tsunoda picks up a mechanical fault, but at the moment we're focusing on Ollie Bearman coming into the pits. So yeah, this is going to see whether the 2 sets of soft strategy is the way to go. Daniel Ricciardo still leads the Grand Prix, but still having that 3-way fight with Leclerc and Verstappen. I'm very worried they're going to take each other out at some point. But yeah, they need a good stop here, boys. He's going to drop all the way down back to 21st. But it is going to be a fresh set of soft tyres, which we know he can push and get up. And then he's got a set of hards that he can push really hard to the end. So we're hoping that Ollie Bearman can do something pretty good here on this 2-stop strategy. Maybe we could have, when he was climbing all those places, we could have potentially dragged those softs out, got onto the hards, and then went for a 1-stopper. But I feel like once we had the strategy set up, you've sort of got to stick with it. And see how it goes. So we'll get into this view and go back to Daniel Ricciardo, who is still leading the Grand Prix. Look at that. Right behind is Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen. And he's going to come round, I think it's Parabolica here, and into the start-finish straight, where he will probably get overtaken by both of them because they'll both have DRS. So it's going to be an unfortunate time for Daniel Ricciardo. Charles Leclerc obviously on those hards trying to drag them out. Verstappen gains and gains and gains. I think Daniel Ricciardo goes defensive on Max Verstappen, and he has stayed in front of the Dutchman. But yeah, Charles Leclerc is out in front. But this is what happens. They think they get away. They don't then really get away. They get drawn back in. DRS on the next lap. And repeat, repeat, repeat. So Charles Leclerc, Verstappen has pitted, so he's going for a little bit of an undercut maybe. Charles Leclerc is well out in front. Those hard tyres now are working wonders for him. His 54% compared to our 47%, but I don't mind what we're doing here. Daniel Ricciardo has got a few more laps on these, and I think he's going to be okay, to be honest, because we're going to be pushing our hards a little bit more at the end. But yeah, I'd like to push him a bit harder, but I'm not sure he can. Let's just do one lap where he's absolutely gunning it so that we try and avoid Verstappen coming out of the pits. But Ollie Behrman up to 17th. He's doing well. And you can see a number of mechanical faults popping up on this as well. So people are struggling here in Italy with their engines, their ERSs and all that good stuff. But Verstappen out on hard. That's his one stop done. Hopefully now he hits some traffic and can't get past. Gasly, don't let him through so easily. That's it. Close him off. Close him off. Ah, he's got through easily. But yeah, Danny Ricciardo is trying to put in a quick lap here. As Ollie Behrman just having a bit of an issue with Tsunoda on his new hard tyres. But Ollie Behrman should get through that with no real qualms. And yeah, lots of people in front obviously going to pit. Oh, the battery is now empty. So I've pushed Daniel Ricciardo. I wasn't paying attention. Pushed Daniel Ricciardo a bit too much on his battery there. But yeah, we are racing Max Verstappen. That is who we're racing in this Grand Prix. Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting to get to the end of this race. So Daniel Ricciardo coming into the pits. He needs a good stop. Verstappen is in third place. I think the undercut for Verstappen is going to be huge. But of course, we're going to have fresher tyres for a few more laps, even though we're pushing them quite hard. And it's going to be very interesting to see how it works out for Charles Leclerc, who is now, what is he in front? 20 seconds ahead of Max Verstappen. So it's a decent stop, 2.5. Daniel Ricciardo's out. Max Verstappen goes through. Let's have a look here, because we are racing Max Verstappen and we don't want to be too far behind him. We've actually come out racing Lando Norris, who actually needs to pit as well, so that's not too bad. But we need to clear this traffic. We are quite a long way behind Max Verstappen. Quite a long way. Right, let's go, boys. We need to put our foot down here. I think Norris and Sainz both still need to pit. No, Sainz has jumped us with his pit stop. That means I've got the strategy wrong. Ollie Behrman, by the way, up to 9th. He's having an absolute blinder on his strategy. He's doing really well at the moment in a battle with Yuki Tsunoda. But, yeah, Danny Ricciardo needs to sort of get moving here. He's got Lando Norris with a mechanical fault in front of him. Hopefully can pass Lando pretty quick. But, yeah, there we go. Chucks it up the inside as Behrman gets past Tsunoda again. These two just switching positions quite often, it seems. We now need to look after Daniel's battery. Hopefully we can, I think if we sit in top up here, we'll be on the back of Carlos Sainz charging our battery up anyway. Obviously we are pushing our hards, I think, more than what everyone else is doing. We have 10% better tyres than Max Verstappen at the moment. It's just, can we make it last to the end of the Grand Prix? That's the question. Behrman and Tsunoda having a right old ding-dong battle. Let's try and just pull away from Yuki Tsunoda in this one. He hasn't got much tyres to play with. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. As Daniel Ricciardo does pass Oscar Piastri. What the hell? No, I just saw his name flip. Maybe he got past Sainz and then Sainz took him back. But we shall see. But yeah, Carlos Sainz here is going to be holding us up a little bit and making sure Max Verstappen can get away. But Carlos Sainz is on a similar level of hards to us. That's really irritating. I should have pitted the lap after Max Verstappen and just dragged the hards out a little bit longer and matched him for strategy. That's what I've got to learn playing this game. That is why teams react to other teams in real life. So that is what we've got to do. As Ollie Behrman gets past Stroll and Tsunoda, which is nice. Not too sure how he managed that. Are they both behind him now? Oh, they're quite a distance away as well, actually. He's put 1.3 seconds behind them. So yeah, Ollie Behrman is in a really good place at the moment, which is lovely. Yellow flag somewhere. Who's falling down the order? Albon, Iwasa are fighting. Logan Sargent locked up, of course he did. Should we watch it because it's Logan Sargent? He's in a battle with probably George Russell, that is. Logan Sargent just, over the bumps. That's going to hurt his underfloor as well. So Logan Sargent showing that he is not very good at all. As Leclerc comes into pit. Now this is interesting. Max Verstappen is probably going to take Charles Leclerc. Charles Leclerc comes out on the mediums. Charles Leclerc is going to be rapid on those mediums as well. As have Ferrari nailed this. I think they might have nailed this, you know. He's going to be out in front of his teammate. He's going to be out in front of us. He's a long way back on Verstappen, but on those mediums, I think he's going to be in a good position to challenge Max for the lead of this race as Daniel Ricciardo overtakes Carlos Sainz. And we are going to push and push and push as much as we can to see if we can catch up with Charles Leclerc at all. 2.5 seconds away. It's going to be a tough ask, but you can see it's just depleting our battery quite a lot. And Yeah, it's tough. He's in a tough situation here. But Ollie Behrman up into 8th. Let's look at the positives on that one, eh? That is quality. He's got a bit of battery as well. We can try and pull away from Lance Stroll again, as Danny Ric has a lapped car in front of him. And now if this lapped car causes us an issue, I am going to be absolutely fuming, because we need to catch up to Charles Leclerc while he's on his cold tyres and see what we can do. Right, they get out the way. We do get DRS off the back of them as well, which is going to help us out massively. 1.8 is the difference, 1.7. We are slowly bringing Charles Leclerc in, but we don't have any battery left, and this is the problem. This is the problem. Ollie Behrman can't seem to lose Lance Stroll at the moment, so we're not going to fight that too much. But yeah, we need that DRS of Charles Leclerc, because once his tyres get to temperature, he is going to be absolutely flying. He is going to be absolutely flying. I think they will be at temperature after this lap. He's already pulling away from us. He's got that battery to deploy. Oh, man. Very, very tough. George Russell could be out here. He's got his engine's puffing. He's a long way from the pits. This could be a safety car. Has he got enough to nurse that home? Has he got enough? Sainz has just re-overtaken us. Stroll has overtaken Behrman. So while I'm watching George Russell have a little puffy engine out the back of his car, we're going to see here. He is making it round. If he can get round this corner, George Russell will retire into the pits. But very intriguing to see if it's a safety car or not. No, I think he's going to make it. He should swing into the pits here. And he's coming in, so he'll safely retire the car. And we can go back to focusing on our drivers. So Ollie Behrman comes in for his last stop of the Italian Grand Prix. Norris has another mechanical. He's going to be retiring. Where is he on track? Oh, he'll definitely make it into the pits. He's going to retire. But here is Ollie Behrman onto that hard set. 2.7. It's not the best. It's not the worst. But yeah, he's going to come out. Hopefully Lando Norris has held up the people behind. But he should be flying now on these hards. He's coming out on brand new hards, and he's going to be up against 70% worn tyres. So yeah, look at Charles Leclerc. He's got better tyres on the mediums than anybody else on the hards out there. So out comes Ollie Behrman. Just need a big stint from you, lad, to get this going. Let's deploy your battery. Get you moving as best we can and see how this is going. Yeah, 99% hard tyres. Hopefully he puts himself in a good position. Potentially back in the points. I literally have no idea about how this is going to happen. But 19 laps to go. Let's see how Ollie Behrman does. Daniel Ricciardo in third, still battling with Carlos Sainz for that final podium position. Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen absolutely miles away down the road. So, yeah, I think I can hold my hands up and say I potentially got the strategy wrong with Daniel Ricciardo. But, yeah, I'm not too disappointed, for sure, battling for third, which is great. I'm just wary of our tyres, 77 to 75. Both are pushing practically the same sort of rate, and we're topping up our battery, which would be great for the end of the Grand Prix, as I've just let Behrman now deplete his battery, but at least he has pulled away from Logan Sargent, which is fine. We actually seem to be having some decent pace on top up, so I think we can leave that on, get the tyres up to temperature, and then we'll sort out Ollie Behrman's battery. But generally happy with how it's going. Few more laps to go as Daniel Ricciardo looks down the inside with DRS of Carlos Sainz, gets that move done. Okay, somehow Daniel Ricciardo has picked up underfloor damage. And it was interesting here because Carlos Sainz made a move on him. He jinked right, jinked left. I'm wondering if he's just forced him over the curb a little bit too much. Yeah, hopefully Daniel Ricciardo isn't affected too much by that. Because it looked so innocuous when I was watching it. We've got a yellow flag somewhere, but that seems okay. I think you've got enough battery now to manage that yourself. Sonoda runs wide, but hopefully that underfloor damage isn't going to affect us too much. Sonoda with a big issue. Leclerc has developed a mechanical issue as well. So yeah, it's all kicking off in Italy. But Leclerc having an issue is really bad for the Ferrari, because he was their hope of beating Max Verstappen today, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Daniel Ricciardo in a wonderful position on the back of Carlos Sainz. And Ollie Behrman is closing the gap to the cars in front. So hopefully this all works out lovely in a nice little package at the end of the race. I think what we're going to try and do in a couple of laps' time is break away from Carlos Sainz. I think as we come through maybe the start-finish straight, because he's going to get DRS here. And he should get this move done. He might not. It looks like we've held him off, actually. So that's fine. But I'm thinking down the start-finish straight, we're going to start deploying our battery. And then we're going to see if we can break away from him and break that 1 second gap. We're going to leave our battery on for a whole lap and see what it allows us to do. By the way, Ollie Behrman's made up 2 seconds to Nico Hulkenberg in 1 lap. So that's absolutely incredible. So we'll deploy here. I think, yeah, you've still got your battery going, Ollie Behrman, as Carlos Sainz is going to have a look down the inside. He is going to get in front of us. That's not an issue. That's not a problem, because look how much battery we have after that braking zone. Right, and then we're going to come out of here, and we're just going to get Daniel to go for it for the rest of this lap and see what he can do, if he can put a gap in between himself and Carlos Sainz. The problem is it's such a short lap, and the DRS zones are so equally spaced, like if you look at them, is that you can't really get a second gap between this chicane and then the next DRS zone. It's a real hard, tough ask. If you look, it's quite easy for Carlos Sainz to stay close. So we do really have to push hard with Daniel Ricciardo. Whether that happens or not, it gets up to like half a second. But this is why we're going to basically use all of our battery and see what we can do. Because this is the next DRS zone, where Carlos Sainz is too far away to go for a lunge. So now, again, we need to deploy that battery and extend that gap and see what we can do. And then it's going to have to be another lap in top-up, because you just can't break that gap. You can't break that 1 second gap unless you've got an absolute rocket ship of a car. As someone else has developed an issue somewhere. Iwasa now has a mechanical fault as well. Lots of mechanical faults happening in this Grand Prix. But yeah, so Carlos Sainz will overtake us again here, potentially. If he doesn't have enough space, Daniel Ricciardo does really well to go defensive. Carlos Sainz on the outside. We're going to try... No, yeah, he's got that done. He's got that done. So we'll sit in top up. Daniel Ricciardo forced a little bit wide. But again, now we're in the space that Carlos Sainz was, and we'll just keep switching positions, basically. But Ollie Behrman in 16th, closing the gap on Nico Hulkenberg. 4.1 seconds is the difference now. So, yeah, but again, I'm not disappointed. 12 laps to go. So, Ollie Behrman's putting in some stonker lap times here. He's right on the back of Yuki Tsunoda. Sargent has been told that his issues got even worse with his mechanical fault. But, yeah, look, we are right in the mix here for potential points. Ocon is a little bit far away from Iwasa, 7 seconds, so maybe not points. But Oliver Behrman's having a really good race in this situation. And I'm very happy with how he's been performing, given he started 21st and we gave him a bit of a funky 2-stop strategy. He has done pretty well. Daniel Ricciardo holding on to the back of Sainz. He'll overtake him on this lap. And then these two will just keep switching places. I'm sure about that. How's tyre wear looking? 58 for us, 57 for Sainz. So he's started easing off his tyres a little bit. 56 and 57. So yeah, Leclerc probably feel a bit gutted that he can't catch Max Verstappen at the moment. But yeah, we're keeping pace with Carlos Sainz and charging up our battery, so I'm really not that worried. Ollie Behrman has passed Yuki Tsunoda. He's now trying to chase down Nico Hulkenberg. Let's give him a bit of a boost with that battery, just see what he can do. As Gasly and Hulkenberg are actually battling in front as well. We've dropped Yuki Tsunoda, so we don't need to push the battery too much. But yeah, Gasly's got an issue. Iwasa's got an issue. Hamilton, Alonso with issues. Leclerc. We've already had Norris and Russell both retire. Zhou's got an issue. Yeah, it's loads of engine issues happening here. And now we have an Alpine ahead of us. 1.5 seconds. We should be able to reel them in relatively easily while they're battling with Nico Hulkenberg. So out of this corner, massive deploy, please. Ollie Behrman, massive deploy out of here. In fact, you're now back into an ERS battle, basically. So we can put you on battle assist there so that we don't have to manually do it. But look at that pace. It's incredible. Go on, Ollie. Ollie doing a fantastic job. Catching up to Nico Hulkenberg and Pierre Gasly. Obviously, he's celebrating a new contract. Daniel Ricciardo's been offered a new contract. The head of aerodynamics has accepted his new contract. The technical director's got a new contract. Ron Meadows, as sporting director, got a new contract. There's basically contracts for everybody. And it is doing a very, very good job for the team, I think. He's failed an overtake there, Daniel Ricciardo. But that's okay, mate. Look, we can just put you into neutral if you want, and you can have a couple of goes at it. It's all going to be fine and dandy, as Ollie Behrman's actually being stuck here. So I think while we're sitting behind these guys, let's just sit in top up. And is that... So Hulkenberg, Gasly, is that Ocon just up the road? I think it is. Look at that pace from Ollie Behrman. Not even deploying the battery. Lovely stuff. He's got no battery to deploy. So he's just using natural pace, driving skill and the pace of the car to get away. Oh, Daniel Ricciardo has actually been dropped now, so let's deploy that. I'm wondering if his tyres are... Let's just get his tyres back in temperature. But yeah, we can't afford to lose DRS on Sainz. We do need to keep... on his booty and keep that DRS. Otherwise, that Ferrari's just going to be a bit too quick for us. As Ollie Behrman now passes Gasly and Hulkenberg and is looking to catch up to Esteban Ocon, who is 1.6 seconds down the road. So it's not completely out of the question. To be honest. Again, we can deploy to make sure that we get into the DRS and then cruise with that a little bit. And is Daniel Ricciardo closing that gap at all? He is closing that gap, but he is also going to run out of battery relatively soon, although he's just coming into the high braking zone of turn 1. And 1.4, so go on Daniel, just use all that battery. You are well in that now with Esteban Ocon, so that is lovely jubbly. And Daniel Ricciardo is back in as well, so we should be able to put that on neutral, and he should be okay. So a good bit of pace from both drivers to get into the DRS of the people in front. Yes, it's empty, but you're going to be charging it up, mate, so don't you worry. Right turn here, another right turn after this, and then Daniel Ricciardo should be in a good position, especially with that DRS, just to ease up next to Carlos Sainz. And here is Ollie Behrman. He hasn't got any battery left, but he will have DRS, which is going to give him a lovely boost up the inside of Esteban Ocon. And yeah, I mean, Iwasa's now 6-point-something seconds down the road, so points may be a bit too much of an ask, but you never know. You never know. Ollie Behrman's strategy does seem to have worked out quite well, actually. He has jumped quite a lot. What's that? 9 places he's jumped, which is very, very good. In all things considered, with all circumstances, it's very, very good. And Daniel Ricciardo is back in the battle with Carlos Sainz, so we're going to try and get him some battery for the I think what will be a last lap battle with Carlos Sainz. So Ollie Behrman has closed that gap to Iwasa in front of him to half a second, so he's really very close to points. If he can get Iwasa and Albon, he's going to be in a fantastic position to make this work. Both drivers are doing pretty well on their tyres. In fact, we can probably push Daniel Ricciardo again now that he's got them back in temperature. But yeah, Ricciardo hanging on the back of Sainz and they're swapping places. Ollie Behrman is potentially here having a look at both these drivers to get a solitary point from starting 21st on the grid, which would surely get him driver of the day. The strategy has worked. Ricciardo gets past Carlos Sainz, but yeah, they'll just be switching an awful lot. And here goes Ollie Behrman, just absolutely demolishes Iwasa for pace. And now he's going to be back on the back of Alexander Albon with DRS going into turn 1. And let's get all that deployed, because you're going to get a huge charge out of turn 1. Come on, DRS kicks in. We get that extra pace. 3 laps to go. And Ollie Behrman is up into the points in 10th. That is some extraordinary driving from Ollie Behrman. He has done a fantastic job in this Brawn in Italy. He's done a really, really good job in this race. And Ollie Behrman has already left those two for dead and out of DRS. So he is having a superb race. Daniel Ricciardo v Sainz will be the one we look at on the final lap, which is just about to be coming up. This is 52. So Verstappen's got to go around once more. He's completely dropped Charles Leclerc as well. But we've got Ricciardo fighting for a podium. And we've got Ollie Behrman in the points starting from 21st. This is a good race. Okay, so Max Verstappen has started his final lap. So Daniel Ricciardo ideally needs to sit behind here and then go for it. And then absolutely go. We've got 0.4 fuel. I really hope we can get through this. Everything on the tyres, Daniel. Ollie Behrman's given everything on the tyres. He's slowly catching Hamilton. Whether he can get it done or not, I do not know. But we need to get this done on Carlos Sainz coming out of turn 1, basically. We've got 80% battery, so Daniel Ricciardo can just deploy till his heart's content. Carlos Sainz is going to battle. We've got lapped cars coming up as well. Please don't get in the way. Daniel Ricciardo just about got past there. Is this the place we want to do the move? Not really. We want to do it in the next DRS zone. Daniel. Use your brain. 0.4. Is he going to run out of fuel? I'm really worried they're going to run out of fuel. I'm really worried he's going to run out of fuel. 0.3 kilos. Daniel Ricciardo keeps having a look. He keeps having a look. 15% battery left, but this is the point that he needs to get the move done. Stick it up the inside. There's a lap car that hopefully isn't going to get in the way and cause us issues. Get out of the way. They do get out of the way. Come on. Max Verstappen wins. I'm really worried about fuel. I'm really worried about fuel. We've overtaken Sainz for P3. He's run out of fuel. He's run out of fuel from P3. It's an absolute nightmare. Oh, we didn't have enough, and Ollie Behrman's going to do the same. Ollie Behrman's going to do the same, and he would have got a point. Oh, it would have been a podium and a point, and we're going to get nothing. It would have been podium and a point, and we just underfueled the car slightly too much. Because Ollie Behrman's got up to 9th. Oh. This is absolute heartbreak. They're both going to retire at exactly the same spot. There's Daniel Ricciardo. Behrman gets just past him with 0.1. Oh, he's on. Oh, he's. Oh. It's heartbreak. Oh. Oh, we were on course. We were on course for such a good race. And both of them are going to retire. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, team. I am so sorry. I ran them on push mode for one extra lap from the start because they were both doing really well. And it massively backfired. Oh, so that is completely my fault. Apparently they finished 13th and 14th, which I don't think is true because they're actually out. But, oh, it was we know we've got the pace. We know we've got the pace. We know we've got the pace. I don't know what that's going to do for bonuses and stuff. Past this pit stop, we are in the top 10 now. We do climb a little bit. But, yeah, okay, it makes sense. We don't get any payout. We don't get any payout, not even for Oliver Behrman. Oh, I can't believe that. What a fucking idiot. Oh, I can't believe it. We're on for a podium. Our first podium. And we ran out of fuel. I can't believe we've run out. I've been so good at monitoring the fuel this season. Oh, shocking. Right, chassis research is done. Driver development update then. Oliver Behrman is improving a lot. Lovely stuff. And Daniel Ricciardo's gone up as well, which is good. Affiliates development update. He has not improved at all. Monthly car. Italian feature race. Yeah. Side pods and a new ATR period so we can get some more research done. But going into the next race, yeah, Daniel Ricciardo's underfloor was busted, wasn't it? So he needs a new one of them. He also needs a new suspension. And in car 2, we need new side pods, and that's it. Okay, so we'll have a quick review in between this and Azerbaijan in the next race to go through what is needed for the car. But Aston Martin are now only 2 points behind us in 5th. I just can't believe it. I cannot believe it. Absolutely gutting. I've robbed Daniel Ricciardo of a podium there and loads of points as well. Oh, anyway. Hopefully, next time we come back for the Baku Grand Prix, Daniel Ricciardo's contract stuff will be resolved, but who knows. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one. Cheers.